I think when it comes to making music, one of the most overlooked arts is the ability to reveal ideas over time. Granted, this isn't going to be the sexiest tutorial of all time, and I'm not going to show you how to make Skrillex's Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites bass, but I definitely think it's one worth paying attention to. So I have a bunch of tracks loaded up in this Ableton session that really showcase revealing ideas over time. It's going to be a short and sweet video, but we're just going to have a little listening party. First up, Porter Robinson's Language, one of the peak tracks for progressive house. Just the way the soft, gradual reveal of this chord progression comes in, which gradually transformed into this gigantic section. You need this teasing right here, because if we just jump straight from drums straight into the action, it doesn't quite hit the same. So the whole concept of this video, revealing ideas over time, it is a very classic example of that. Next up, we have Strobe by deadmau5. We'll kind of go back to front on this, the chord progression. And the distinguishing fact between this track and Porter Robinson's Unison is the fact that this chord progression slash melody isn't given away all at once. It's just that same 2 beats kind of repeating over and over. So if we skip back like a minute, those first 2 beats of the chord progression on repeat. And then after a few hints of the rest of the chord progression like this bit, but then sinking back into those same 2 beats, we get to the point where deadmau5 finally reveals the whole thing. And then we start to shift the energy up and up and up. Then slamming the bass. Then drums and classic. Progressive house, are you really living up to the name progressive? Shifting into a little bit of a tangent this one, Pendulum Granite. Classic drum and bass banger, but I love the cheekiness that is injected into this tune. So if we take this first chorus lead, that sounds epic by itself. Now there's 2 things I want to mention in this track for revealing ideas over time. It's this little build element right here. You're hinting at the melody, and then I copy and paste the actual melody underneath this, so you can hear these 2 together now. So we're essentially just stripping away 1 bar, and then 1 bar here, and then 1 bar here. So we're not giving the audience the full melody straight away, but we're just hinting at it. That is a cheeky little trick, but the most impressive trick about this track is taking this entire melody, what we had before. I'm going to hit Command J to consolidate that, and now I'm going to reverse this. So now if we play it, and those that are very familiar with the track will be like, that sounds insanely familiar, because that little melodic reverse bit actually makes up the final chorus. So I haven't touched this is not reversed as a part of the track right here. But essentially Rod from Pendulum's just taking that lead from the first chorus and being like, you know what? I'm going to reverse that and then use it for the final chorus. Great compositional trick and definitely revealing details over time, but in a reversed manner. And when you start going into those compositional tricks and reversing sections, it's really about finding the perfect balance between familiar and different. And speaking of familiar slash different, the classic trick that gets used in bass music all the time is the second drop variation. Noisia masters at this. If you listen to bass music, this is nothing new. You would have heard this in so many tracks. It's taking that first drop and then duplicating it to the second and adding something slightly different about that. They'll give it even more energy or power or just pizzazz. Like I said, Noisia masters at this. I'll play you a bunch of examples. Dust Up. Compared to the second drop. Not too much of a difference. If you listen to this track a bunch of times, you'll know the subtle difference. Drop number 2 doesn't really have breaks in between the bass. Whereas drop 1, that's a very subtle example. Let's break into something that's a little more obvious. Collider. Absolutely epic. Second drop. The thing that just provides even more energy and really sucks you into the drop is that epic lead over the top. Extra energy, extra epicness. Dead limit is an example of like switching up your drums to add even more energy. First drop. Epic. Second drop. We're carrying the same bass, we're carrying the same effects, but this extra kick just extra stomp compared to. And speaking of drums, we can make this super obvious with like a half-time switch for the second drop. Completely shifts up the groove and the head bangingness of the track. Switching back into some less heavier genres, we can really gradually reveal details over time by doing a massive tempo automation. There's two tracks that really stand out when talking about this idea, and there's Opus by Eric Prydz, or Prides, or whatever. Listen to how slow that is, but fast forward a bit more, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. Building even more. We're really milking this idea, but it's worked so good. So listen to the speed of that up versus so slow. This is a great idea to reveal ideas over time. FN Pig by Deadmau5 is another one of these. And then we slow it right back down. And then we're into the action. But if your track's got a lot of MIDI, definitely try this technique of massive tempo automation. If your track is really sample based, that might be a bit tricky if Ableton's trying to play a sample that's meant for 174 down at like 20 beats per minute. It's really gonna have to stretch the sample. But with a MIDI instrument, it could just like play it normally. So yeah, something to keep in mind. And my last trick for gradually revealing details over time is the classic dubstep to drum and bass switch up for the final drop. Mode Step absolutely slay this idea. They were doing it so much in like 2010 to 2013. Take the first drop.
The sunlight hurts my eyes.
We've established a great sounding drop, and then for the final chorus, build up the speed. If you want to take your existing idea and put it in a whole new world, whole new context, the dubstep to drum and bass switch up is an absolute classic. Not too many people are doing these days, so you know. And another one of these, Show Me a Sign. Classic. We're gonna drum and bass switch it. Same idea, whole new context, whole new sound. And that is that, my friends. Hopefully you learned something new. Next time you're working on a track, think to yourself, how can I reveal ideas over time in a cool way? And here's a bunch of tips and tricks that'll hopefully spark that inspiration. See you guys next time. Peace.